There's no right answer. And then later on, in 1984, I got into skateboarding and punk rock, and those two things were really life-changing for me. I liked to draw from the time I was a little kid, but really only when I was on restriction for throwing water balloons at cars, or you know, it was a rainy day. I was really, I had a lot of energy. I liked sports, soccer, football, tennis. I was really into mischief, just, you know, hyperactive. And the cool thing about skateboarding and punk rock is when I got into those cultures, skateboarding was a physical outlet that was really creative. You know, there was a whole underground do-it-yourself mentality with skateboarding. You know, I could get a lot of physical aggression out, but I could also make up tricks and bond with other people who felt, you know, marginalized and frustrated with society. And, and it's such a cliche, we're here at an art school, right? So I'm different than everybody except for all of you. We're all just alike. And then the punk rock, you know, the visceral energy of the Clash, the Sex Pistols, Black Flag, Bad Brains, all, you know, all this music that went great with skateboarding, the Dead Kennedys, but also had a component of social commentary in the rebellion. Some of which was really dumb, just like burn your school down, and some of which was very, very intelligent, well articulated, and you know, cut through the propaganda of the Reagan administration in a way that I wish affected everybody in the country. So, you know, getting into those cultures and the creativity that went with that, combined with my love for drawing, really developed into me making homemade stickers and T-shirts, and that's what sort of set me on a path towards the kind of graphic art that I still make. I didn't see that as art, you know, in the way it was defined around me. So it was just a way of using skills I developed as an artist to make cultural artifacts that were important to me. But you know, little did I know, it wasn't all that far off from what Andy Warhol had been doing. So that was important. Next thing, end of high school, my parents said, "You are really stagnating. We hate all your skateboarder friends. We hate everything about your life. You're squandering your maybe there's some talent under there somewhere. Whatever it is, you're squandering it." And so they wanted me to go to this place, the North Carolina School of the Arts. I got kicked out of there for skateboarding during the summer program between my junior and senior years, and I had a very short amount of time to scramble to find another school. My parents guilt-tripped me a lot, and they probably should have. You know, I was a handful, but they went to a professional guidance counselor who did a whole, like, you know, IQ test, psychological profile, draw a picture, interpret a Rorschach, you know, ink blot, and then they were like, "Okay, so based on this entire day, I think there's one school that might work." And that was this school. So, my parents were planning a trip to California anyway, and we, you know, between San Diego and LA, we just veered off for a couple hours, came up here, and showed my portfolio, and I got into the school. And you know, it was a really great experience being here, because I wore this Ramones shirt not only because I love the Ramones, but because one of my teachers, David Amico, who's a painter from Los Angeles, he wore, you know, I think he was in his late 30s, early 40s then, but he wore biker boots, Ramones t-shirts, and a leather jacket most of the time. And it was the first time I didn't have an adversarial relationship with my teachers. My photo teacher, Barbara, my two-dimensional design teacher, Eleni, these were people that they treated me like a peer that they had something to offer, more experience to offer to, and that, you know, that meant a lot to me. It really changed the way, you know, the way I looked at my academic experience, and it motivated me. So I enjoyed that, and there was, you know, there were a lot of creative people that were going here. Like I said before, you know, at your high school, there's a couple of artsy people, but really you're not surrounded by people that push you to do what you do. better and better, and that's that's what I got here. There was a lot of fun stuff. Just a quick story about one of the projects I did here. There were sanctioned projects, and then there were unsanctioned projects. I was studying black and white photography, loved it. Then they said, "Oh, well, you can learn color photography, but you have to do everything in complete darkness, temperature controlled. It's very tedious." And my roommate and I thought, well, yeah, that sounds like a pain in the ass. Maybe we won't do that. But then he brought up the idea, yeah, well, the California driver's license is color. We can make fake IDs. Do that. So we painted a gouache board of the California license. And back then there were no holograms or anything in the license. So, there weren't as many sort of technical boundaries to such an endeavor that exists now. We painted it life-size, and we stood in front of it, and me, my roommate, and one other guy, we made our fake IDs, and then our teacher found it stashed, like, behind a filing cabinet, and destroyed it, but she didn't know definitively that it was us, but she came right to us and said, "I think there are only a few minds in this school that would have conceived this." We all, I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. It was very creative here, and one of the biggest things that happened, other than my experiences with my teachers on campus, was that we took a lot of field trips, road trips, to go see art, and I'd never been exposed to great contemporary art when I was living in South Carolina.